right, man. Somewhere back there behind me is the state line. We just left Florida. I got a week off work, and usually this is the time of year where I head south Florida and do some peacock bass fishing and stuff, but I got a little extra time this year, and I'm going to spend it wisely by escaping the heat of Florida and going north this time. So we're going South Carolina, North Carolina, gonna fish some highland reservoirs. I'm very excited. A plethora of species that I've never caught. Spotted bass, striped bass, smallmouth. Maybe I get lucky, catch a trout. I don't know, maybe there's perch up here. Who the hell knows? There's all kinds of cool shit up here. This is crazy to think. I've never fished outside of Florida for bass. Just never done it. So that's what we're doing. We're fixing that. Got my South Carolina state license. One big thing to remember, if you leave your state, is get another license. So I have to buy, I bought that one already. Gonna have to buy one for North Kakalaki. But I'm totally pumped. Hopefully get to throw some swim baits up here because their waters are a lot cooler. You know, the glide bait bite happens year round, so I'm very pumped about that. Got to dust off the old glide baits, throw them back in the vehicle. So we're gonna get out to this spot. We're gonna get after it. All right, first stop, we left the sweaty armpit of Florida for the sweaty armpit of South Carolina. We are somewhere in the middle of this state, and we are at Lake George Warren. All right, man, day 2 in South Carolina. We are on just an absolute breathtaking lake, Lake Kiowee. It's a pretty good size lake. It's a big lake, man. Dropped in at Mile Creek Park, paid our $5, and this lake was billed as, you know, emerald green water. It is very clear water, not crystal clear. There's a little bit of tinge, you know, it's summertime, there's probably some algae blooms happening and stuff, but still pretty darn clear water. God, we just dropped in, man. I'm looking around. There's docks. There's a marina across the way. There's some islands and stuff. I see people fishing around. There's this big peninsula. Like, we kind of dropped in mid-lake, and this is just an area where I can kind of shoot. Main Lake is right there, and then I can kind of go back this way. So I can kind of, you know, explore what I think I need to as far as, you know, being in a kayak and not being able to, you know, go that far. But it is gorgeous. My first highland reservoir, and we went for it, man. I got swim baits tied on. We got the Buca burrito, you know, and that's just kind of so I can kind of sink something down and kind of bounce along bottom. And then we got a actually my first time throwing it, we got the glide away glide. It's just a cool bait, kind of billed as a do everything glide, and it swims really nice. You can chop it, you can kind of get some decent wide glides. So we're gonna get around some of these. Man, I don't even know where to start. My hope is to catch a fish. You know, it's the middle of summer, it's hot out, but you know, people catch them on glides year round up here. The water's cool because it's a deep highland reservoir, so it's beautiful. I'm just excited to paddle around here today and have some fun, and hopefully we can get our first out-of-state bass. All right, man, the damn GoPro. I'm telling you, man, GoPro, I need the next Black Series to be able to not overheat in the summer. Overheated, I had to put it down with the cooler, and as soon as I was coming around the corner fishing this dock, I saw something blowing up out kind of off the dock in open water. Fired the glide bait out there, boom. And now, if I'm not mistaken, this is a spotted bass. See the spots along its belly? It's definitely looks so much, it's weird. Like, I was never sure if I caught one, if I'd really be able to know right out of the gate if it was a spotted bass. And there's a couple ways you can tell that I've watched guys talk about over the years, but it just looks different. Ow, shoot. Come on, dude. It just looks different than a largemouth. Like, it really does have a different look to it, different coloration, different pattern. But right here. Look at this guy. He smoked the glide bait, dude. He was blowing up on, he was chasing some small bait. I saw it blow up. I immediately fired over there. Couple handle cranks, boom, this guy was on it. They are known to be very, very aggressive, you know, but they don't get giant, but they're very aggressive. They fight real hard. They're fun fish to catch. I'm just excited. I got my first bass. We got a target species that you can't catch down in Florida. My first spotted bass, dare I say my PB spotted bass. And there's another way you can tell. Right here on the tongue, if you feel that, it's really rough. And it's funny, I've heard people talk about, like, they feel that tongue right there and it's rough. And that's what this guy is a spotted bass, my first spotted bass. So give him the old Dunkenstein, you know, give him a little hydration. Look at that fat belly, dude. You can tell these guys are aggressive feeders. What a gorgeous fish, man. Definitely a lot smaller mouth than a largemouth. Like, it's very noticeably, you know, not that big maw that largemouth have. We're gonna take some measurements. I'm not gonna weigh him, and you know, so I know my PB spot, but we're just gonna measure him, give him the old the measurements like I always do. And that'll be what we do. Ooh, this guy wants to get back in the water. All right, we're gonna measure him real quick. We got, dude, 13 1/4. Not a big one, but look at that belly, dude. Look at that fat belly, man. My first spotted bass. Man, that's a tough day of fishing. This is a beautiful lake. We're at Kiwi. It's gorgeous, emerald blue, green water. It is a stunning lake. It is gorgeous, and I'm sure there's plenty of badass fish in here. Just not my experience. We got lucky, checked one off the box, caught my first spotted bass. Fished for a long time after that, and just nothing. You know, I got lucky with that fish. I saw it blown up. We were in an area where they kept coming up and blowing up on the surface every, like, you know, 5 minutes or so. So I hung in that area for a while to see if we could pick another one off. And I had a few followers. But other than that, like, going up along the shoreline, everywhere along the bank, along docks, I would see some little clumps of small bait fish. I didn't see any bluegill, really. I didn't see any fish, man. It was crazy. Like, I didn't see any fish swimming around up shallow, which seems weird to me. I mean, even, you know, in Florida, we don't have that problem. There's always fish up shallow. Like, you're always gonna, if you're up shallow, you're always gonna see bluegill and shiner and all kinds of stuff. But just not the case here, man. We definitely fished deeper. You know, I was casting out mostly with, like, the smaller elements, because it's more like a lipless crankbait. So I kind of downsized, hoping that I would get more bites that way, and just didn't work out, man. No big deal. I learned, you know, that swim bait's probably not going to play this trip. We're going to try one more time at Jocassee, which is the lake just north of Kiwi. We'll probably go there and recommit to throwing big baits again and see what happens. But probably for the rest of the time, all the other lakes I fish, I'm gonna go with my summertime strategy, man. We're gonna downsize. We're gonna try and mimic a lot of the small bait that's in the water, because that's what I saw here today. So here's hoping maybe tomorrow we can catch 2 fish.